Hey, what's up, guys? Jody Dean with the Scream Scene here. I haven't posted in a while, but I needed to jump on here today for this one. I had planned on revamping and bringing the show back very soon, hoping. Been very busy making movies, doing a lot of family stuff behind the scenes, running businesses, but this can't be ignored. Guys, last night the news broke that Todd has passed away. Now, I guess he passed away a few days ago, but this information just really hit last night, and you've seen a wildfire spread across the horror community. It is a real sadness. This guy was a ball of lightning. He was a powerhouse of character, experience, knowledge, and wisdom, and just a phenomenal actor, a voice, what he could do with his eyes. He had this presence. He was where he was supposed to be. He was doing what he was meant to do. I'm a lifelong fan of this guy. I remember, and I tell people a lot about my experiences that made me want to become a filmmaker. I remember being like 6 years old, going into the mom and pop VHS stores. And my mom was really cool. I know a lot of parents are like, oh, make sure that there's no cussing or there's none of this. And my mom didn't do that. She was like, go pick out what you want. You can get 1 to 2 movies. I'd go straight to the horror section. I would stand there in awe, and I would pick the scariest looking things I could get. Well, I remember my first time I ever got Candyman. It didn't really scare me, but I thought it was so powerful. And there was something that would click back then. I don't think I knew that it made me want to be a filmmaker, but I was like, I want to support this in some way, shape, or form. I think maybe I want to be involved in this. And it's like, how do you do that? Those movies were that effective, and Candyman was one of those ones. Child's Play, Friday the 13th. There's a handful, and since then there's been even more that have inspired me. But when I heard this last night, when you have a relationship with somebody, I never got to meet Tony face to face. I had always hoped that I would get that chance, and there was something in the back of my mind that said, Jody, as a filmmaker, one day you're going to get to work with this guy. And I may have only talked about that a few times with a few close friends. I know last year I had sent him several messages asking if I could interview him here on the Scream Scene. And, I got no responses back, but I didn't feel any kind of way because, his busy is different than my busy. And I've seen with my busy, there's times where I don't talk to my own mother for several days. And it's not because I'm trying to ignore her. It's not that I don't want to talk to her. It's just I have so much on my plate. And when I have a little bit of me time, I just want to enjoy that time because it is so little. So I can imagine his time, being like that to him. But I had hoped, in that conversation, not only would it be, interviewing him genuinely as a horror fan and a filmmaker as well, which is something I think that's a great thing that I bring to the table here, is I'm not just interviewing people as a fan or as a journalist, but as somebody who actually makes films, lives and breathes horror. But I had hoped that maybe after our conversation, I could slide in there. I'm sure it's, probably going to be expensive, but I would love to get you to be a part of one of my micro budget indie horror films. I've loved what you do my entire life. And, even if it was a smaller part, I would love to have you a part of something and at least get that contact information to where in the direction I'm heading in, that's actually a possibility. I had really hoped that I would get to work with Tony Todd. When I heard this news last night, you would have thought that I had met this guy, that I had been friends with him. I actually wanted to cry, man. I've never heard a bad thing about this guy. Actually, I've heard people my entire life, or I've seen people say things, especially with the social media days we have now. I've seen so many people say nothing but great things about him, how kind he was, and their experiences working with him on set, and the vibes and presence that he brought to set. I think a lot of this guy. I wanted to support him more, and I had hoped that we were going to get to see a lot more from him. This is, like I said in the beginning, this is a real sadness. It really stumped me. And I've seen that a lot of people say that, like, this hit me like a ton of bricks. I seen Marcus Labine, a guy I think highly of, he said, man, this hit me like a ton of bricks. That's exactly how I felt. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, this is crazy. I just binged watched all the Candyman movies in the month of October on VHS. I love my VHS collection. I prefer to watch things on VHS. And watching the Candyman franchise on VHS was such an amazing experience. It looks beautiful. And it was just so much fun. And to know that right after Halloween, we lost him. There's been a lot of things that he's done, but of course the Candyman movies are just up here for me. But I also think about, like, when I'm watching Hellfest and I seen he was in it, how excited I got. Or when I was watching Hatchet, another one of my favorite, film franchises, when I seen him in it, how excited I got. There's not a ton of people that do that to me, like, there is a small handful. I would say that Sid Haig. I wouldn't say he was. Sid Haig was in there. Tony Todd in there. I can't name a ton of people. So, a real sadness. My condolences to his family and friends and loved ones, and to anybody out there that is saddened by this loss. And it is a loss. I think we all, just hope that our idols are just going to be around forever. And we always hope that we're going to be around forever. And this shows how short life really is. Like, I was just actually getting ready to watch him in Stream. He played a part in that film. And I'm a little behind. I've been busy. And I was looking forward to seeing Stream. And he was in there. And that was one thing that excited me. I'm like, yo, they got Tony Todd. This is great. And I'm still going to watch that film, and everybody else should as well. But it's just bizarre, man. And it's going to happen again. One day it's going to happen to me. It's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to all of us. I think we do build relationships with these people, and maybe we don't think about it like that. But when you really enjoy somebody, I'm 40 years old. I watched this guy. Let's say I was like 5 or 6 years old the first time I ever seen Candyman. Like, it's been a long haul of supporting this individual. And I really was hoping we were going to get to see a lot more. I think that's the biggest thing now is I'm like, we're not going to get to see no more. But I'm excited and happy to continue to support his name and keep him alive by continuing to relive these movies. I could watch every movie he was in a million more times and it feel like the first time. Candyman 3, one of my favorite from the franchise. I could watch that movie over and over and over. And it's true what they say, gone but not forgotten. This guy, he is he's a legend. He might be gone, but his legacy is living strong. And it's sad, man. I felt like I had to come on here and say something. It's sad. It's just a real sadness. Like I said, guys, we plan on coming back to the Scream scene full throttle, hopefully soon. But this was something I had to speak on, and I hope you guys are okay in this time. I know the horror fans, we love our horror icons, and he was an icon, and in very, very iconic roles, man, and just he is on a poster in my heart for the rest of my life. So, guys, thank you for being here. Smash that thumbs up, comment below, share this on social media. Hopefully we'll see you guys here soon on the Scream Scene. Sweet nightmares.